Okay, let me start sharing my screen and then we'll see if everyone can see it. Okay, what's up, Tony? How are you? Hope all is well. Estonia, oh, that's nice. Where's everyone from in here? I'm curious to see where everyone's from. And let me know if you can see the screen, by the way, if that's visible or not. Should be visible. New York, Iowa, okay, nice. So both from the US. We're having snowstorms in Sweden right now. No way. From Algeria and Jamaica, that's nice. What's gonna happen here? We're just well, today we're just gonna do some live market analysis. Honestly, we're just gonna look at what the markets are up to, what they have been doing. We'll look at a few asset classes, answer any questions anyone might have. Let's see, Poland, nice. UK, pretty mixed crowd today. I love it. Let's see, GA. What's GA? Georgia? Yeah, Georgia. Okay, okay. As in the country Georgia or the state? I think the state, right? The state. Okay, okay. Sounds good. I'm in the Netherlands myself, by the way. So it's a neighbor to the UK, actually. Right, let's look at some NQ first. NQ has been bleeding like crazy. And let's add a little liquidity depth to it so we can properly spot the liquidity pools. Okay, so I do like to use a weekly with swing point filter on, or swing point mode. There we go. And then I'll personally disable the depth, especially on like a higher time frame. But I do want the labels on long form because I think it looks neat. There we go. We got swing highs and lows. We can see how it's kind of still stuck in this range ever since, what is it, November, end of November. So it's been a while. Even though the other two indices did expand beyond the range though. Just have a quick look. YM expanded above it. It's also still stuck in a range, and ES also above it, but also kind of still stuck in a range. But I think most people in here probably trade NQ, so we'll just look at NQ for now. So, first things first, what can we see? What does my eye draw towards? Well, first thing is this nice little volume imbalance right there. Let's make it purple, nice and visible. Which we have below the marketplace. We're pretty close to it. I think like, 200 points. Which is not a lot, especially for these days volatility where we have days like 700 or 800, another 750, and a 620 day. So it's like 1/3 of the daily measurement or daily movement. Let's see. What else can we see? What else can we see? ES for you, Robin Hood? Oh, we'll also look at ES then. That's nice. So we also have the rollover gap here. I think it's a rollover gap, which we spent quite some time in. We also have a big one right here. Oh yeah, it's a shame we didn't really hit the liquidity pool. But I do want to look at this though. We have the rejection block right there, and we can see how the bodies are gonna filter close above it and then start to reject and go lower. So logically, if markets stay bleeding, our next objective would be the volume imbalance and eventually the rejection block and the liquidity pool below here. If we indeed still continue the bearishness this week, but we're on Thursday already. Friday might be a little slow, could be a little slow, especially because we already had a pretty large move of 1.5k points this week in like a few days. So let's look at ES. Almost the same story, but it didn't take out this liquidity pool yet. So we do have SMT divergence between this. But if indices just are weak, that probably will get neglected and they'll just trade into the liquidity pool anyway. But for now, it's holding up and targeting the fair value gap alongside the liquidity pool. At least that's what I would be looking at if we want to continue our downwards movement. We already took buy side liquidity twice, or 3 times actually, 1, 2, 3, before we started to move lower. It's a strong PD ray fair value gap with the volume imbalance. Yeah, it's like a confluence of using both, so that's nice. Let's see, and we'll look at the Dow too. Dow's been the strongest asset for like a while, for a long while. It has the strongest upside expansion. It's also something we talked about in the end of month recap, end of month reports. And the next one is releasing this weekend, by the way. We also talk about this. But the fact that YM is still the strongest asset from the 3, and it has been for a while. We can see it's very interesting how we keep coming back to the volume imbalances, kind of probe into it, and now we're stuck inside this little range right here. Is it only you that has bad quality on the screen? Let me check. Okay, let me check. Now it should be better. Thank you for pointing that out. For some reason it was set to 720p, but now we're at 1440. This should be much better, right? Perfect. Yeah, now you should be able to see it properly. Yeah, nice and crisp, right? That's way better. So yeah, honestly, YM is the strongest, but it does look like a mess. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like when we are having like these range-bound conditions where there's no real thing to pinpoint where we're going. Like, yes, we do have this fair value gap that we're trading into constantly with the volume imbalance, but it's not really convinced on a direction as of now, right? Yes, we're still bullish in like market structure wise, you know, it's still bullish. Yeah, it's like watching paint dry. I like the analogy, exactly. So there's not a lot happening here right now, until we start to break out of a range, and then whenever we see some like trending conditions, it might get interesting again. You think next week's or a few weeks YM will be going for the lows, and NQ and ES will start showing strength? Could be the case, yeah. If they start rotating funds out of YM into the other two, those two could get stronger, while this one starts to slow down and go for sell side. For sure. Question: usually when price plays around in a fair value gap, often it'll soon fail and price will blow on through it. Yeah, that's something that could happen. I mean, you know, after a while, like the whole imbalance has been cleared out, and there's no like you could like keep looking at it, but it's not a good sign if it keeps getting disrespected like this, right? So, if it starts to close below like the increments like that 0.5, if we add it, the middle line. For example, if it starts to close below the middle line a lot, usually it's a sign that we start to go down or blast through it. Tony says you think 20k for NQ is next. Yeah, exactly. It hasn't closed below the gap yet, so right, still has closed inside it. Only traded with the wicks outside of it, but that's fine because we have to look at what the bodies are doing anyway. 20k. That's that's a way down there. Jeez. Oh, because you're looking at like the volume imbalance probably. Could be the case. Yeah, who knows? Would be a big drop down though. A very large drop down. What is it like? Almost 4.5k points. Like this year, okay, so you're more likely expecting like a longer term retracement lower. Yeah, on daily, it hasn't really made any bullish structure correctly. It even broke down inside the microstructure right now. As you can see, we took out both the swing lows. So, and we closed below this swing, so it's not really looking too good for NQ right now. But yeah, also has to do with, you know, overall economy stuff. If like, you know, risk off or risk on starts to come back, then we might see some, you know, bullish structure. But as long as markets are like risk off sentiment wise, then yeah, I don't really see markets going up that quickly. Yeah, because we've seen like indeed metals rise a lot and go back down again. Let's see. Let's look at what the DXY is doing as well. It's always fun to look at. So most interesting thing is we took out the swing low and then we got a really fast V-shaped reversal that's like cooking up right now. So I'm curious to see if we are able to close above these gaps right here and if we will go for the swing highs that are up top on the top end of the range. Let's see, Tony says we're still inside the range and we'll see next week if we will respect bearish PD arrays. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We'll have to wait and see if we respect them or not. And that's the thing with markets like these when we're like heavily consolidating, you just have to take it like one step at a time, right? If you can't see 5 steps ahead, just focus on the next possible step, right? Like it's not always possible to see what's going to happen in the next, let's say, a few months or something or whatever, if it's unclear because we're consolidating. So just focus on the next first step you're taking. The indicator on screen is this one, liquidity depth, LD Pro Plus. And I'm using the swing point mode with the labels on so you can see which liquidity pools are swing liquidity pools or normal daily liquidity pools. So now we'll just give you all the daily highs and lows, and now it will only give you specific swing points. And I like the swing point filter because it basically gives you also like an overview of like market structure in a sense, because it gives you the swing highs and lows of a market. Yeah, for scalping lower time frame, you don't know what next will be. Yeah, exactly. But also like in this case, right, when we let's say we're looking for the market to reach this volume imbalance, right? We can sit here even if or let's look at YM as like a better example, right? Let's say markets are like very, very consolidating, right? And we don't really have an idea if we're going to go for the swing low or high. Just focus on the next easy objective that you might that we might reach, right? Instead of trying to go for like the higher hanging fruit, so to say. The indicator, it's this one, liquidity depth. Do we have an image? Oh, I can't paste the image, it's too big, but it won't let me paste it. That is one, liquidity depth. This is the one. There you go. So let's go back to DXY where we were. Yeah, so currently we're trading inside this big gap, and we did close above the half point or midpoint. So what I would be looking for is to see if we can sustain that move inside the gap and see if we can close above it. If we close above it, it's a quote-unquote simple case of looking to see if we get next buy-side objectives and eventually hit the swing high. And if not, if we want to continue our bearish view, we'll look for the market to trade into the OTE, line up PD arrays, or see if we can get like bearish structure forming inside here for a possible continuation lower. But I do have to say the DXY is pretty exhausted with going lower. It hasn't been going lower in a while, and we're like basically range bound with that as well. Same goes for the euro. It's also pretty range bound. XYZ axis. So if we look at the euro, for example, it's the same but opposite view. We took out the swing high, and now we're back inside discount end of like this small range here. What's up, Time? Good to see you in here. Hope you're doing well. Peace be with you too, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing well too. Let's see. I see a few people typing, so let's see what they have to say. If there's any specific markets you guys want me to look at, just drop them in the chat. By the way, what am I covering today? Today we're gonna be looking at some markets. We're gonna be looking at well, basically any asset you guys want me to look at, and we'll do some analysis on it. This is usually what we do in the first stream of the month. We'll look at some analysis for multiple markets. Always fun to do. So yeah, euro is trading inside the same fair value gap with FVG, or volume imbalance, as DXY is doing. So yeah, for now we'll have to see if we get some more downside continuation inside the range towards the swing lows. Let's see. You came up with that at the beginning of the year. 3 bullish years, expect a bearish year. Expecting 50% of the wick, OT is 20k area, and higher time frame ranging since November. You broke structure on the daily to downside, indicating bearish structure. Yeah, right now it's not looking too positive for upside continuation on NQ, because we indeed broke the daily structure. So for now it's just a wait and see if we continue the bearish movement. If we do, that's fine, and we'll continue to target sell side objectives. Let's see what Shady is typing. You like to look at the higher time frame trading because your end goal is to swing trade. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Swing trading is I really like swing trading. Really fits in with my schedule a lot better, so that's why I like it. You've tried volume things but never found real. Do you need software for that? Or like the VWeb and stuff. I'm not really a VWeb user myself, to be honest. You can't wait to get to the point where you can swing trade, because you trade intraday now, band breaker. Yeah, we did go over NQ. Yeah, we can look at gold. That's fun. Gold looks crazy. The big drop on that day, which was this Friday the 30th, was crazy. So we took out like a, ooh, that's ugly, a sell side pull right there, while trading inside the fair value gap right here, inversion right there. Let's just mark that out because it does look really nice. There we go. Perfect. Picture perfect. Ah, okay, because you trade futures. I get it. Yeah. Prop firms, future props, so that's why. You don't have the capital just to swing. Work during New York Open, so I can hardly make it short. Yeah, okay, I get that. I get that. And then we are kind of stuck inside this. So I do want to kind of see if we get some momentum going again. Because like overall, like structure-wise, markets are not bearish at all. And like these corrections, they can happen. But it's also because like gold and stuff is largely driven by market sentiment and stuff, right? And risk on, risk off scenarios. So as long as there's reasons for investors to park their capital inside like safe haven assets, the gold will continue. Let's see. So let's zoom in on gold a little bit more. And what can we see? Oh, we do see we have a fair value gap left open. Oh, which is a small breakaway. Especially because we're not really coming back inside it. And we'll make it blue. Oh, there we go. We'll go to a 1 hour and see what the structure looks like there. Yeah, okay, that's why it's a breakaway, because we tapped inside the 1 hour gap. Makes sense. There we go. So, did this trade into here? No, it didn't. So yeah, 1 hour structure isn't really looking bearish though, but it's like kind of not really pointing in any direction at this point, because let's look at it like this, right? We're kind of stuck inside here. So I tend to use those levels to basically see which one it's respecting and to see if we can close above them or if we fail to close above them. Because like ideally you don't want to see, if you want the reversal right here, you don't want to see this like close back down 0.5 and then start to go back down. So usually it like indicates that it's weaker and it's not really interested in going back up higher in the range. So yeah, let's see. And we can see how PD rates are perfectly respected on the move lower, as you can see. So not looking to too bullish at the moment, but it could always be a like short-term retracement to then build a larger buy-side curve here to then eventually come up. Like we never like we don't know. It could be the case that we engineered a bigger sell-side curve and then we're just busy building the buy-side curve right here. You love the quads? Yeah, me too. And like the same thing would apply here, right? I would just basically apply the quadrant levels, or the other way around. Around here. And then you basically want to look and see if we can hold above the 0.25. If we can and we get back up above the 0.5 again, it would be a good sign. You could look for a buy-side curve development towards the buy-side pull right there. Let's make it blue. And then the same game, just plays on until you reach the 0.75 level, and you reach buy-side liquidity pools on this side, plus local pools that will form here, and then you look for the other one. And DRT, yeah, just dealing ranges, exactly. Just the standard way Ice-T used to teach them is the way I use it. Let's see, do you use micro or mini quads? What do you mean with micro quads? As in the quadrants? So yeah, possible developments could either be further downside continuation, forming a market maker sell model towards the lows right here, and then we'll have like a bigger breakdown. Or if markets continue to stay bullish, we can expect it to form a buy side curve right here, and eventually, slowly but surely, maybe create a second one and move up. Yeah, so plot one from the 25 or lower quadrant EQ at dealing. Okay, like that. Yeah, you plot another one in here. Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, yeah, that's perfectly usable for sure. I tend to not overuse it, so it doesn't get like too much, you know. Like at some point, it's gonna be like over analyzing something, and I like to keep things like rather simple. So yeah, I don't really do it like that. All right, so we got gold. Let's go back to NQ intraday on our 1 hour. And this is beautiful though. A really nice sell model down here. Indeed it is, yeah, for sure. Buy model into sell model with a really big retracement up here though. That really sets people off, honestly. Like on a Monday, especially like a fake move Monday, and then Tuesday we just drop off. Wednesday we drop off. Thursday we drop off. So we have a big expansion from Tuesday to Thursday. So possibilities are that Friday caps the range and like starts to like hover around or anything. But you know, for there's always a saying that I have. It's like I've seen NQ do crazier stuff. So it could just as well drop 1,000 points tomorrow. Who knows, right? It's NQ at the end of the day. Craziest asset there is almost next to gold. Natural gas, yeah, natural gas could be crazy. Did I already talk about my model or framework? Not really. Gold is the king of fake outs. Is that so? Is that it? Is this gold the king of fake outs? Oh, I mean, if we look at this, what settings do I have on the box? Oh, it's very simple. It's just 0, 25, 0 0.5, 0 0.75, and the 1. And they're all just black. That's it. So I'll screenshot it for you. There you go. It's very simple. But we can do the same automatically. We don't have to draw it by hand. We can just use the higher time frame power of 3. Like, if we enable, let's say, 4 days, and we enable the, where is it, show leading range, we extend, oh no, it's extend opens. And then we'll do entire look back. Let's see. Or let's do a 2-week period, for example. I will just use this as the last 2 weeks. Oh, it doesn't count the current one, of course. Okay, then we'll just do days. There we go. Now it counts the whole range. You can see in which part of the dealing range we are at. I don't have to do that many days, but there we go. And then you can use this as a dealing range as well. And you get the higher time frame power of 3 candles with them. So it's all possible to just automate it as well. We don't have to draw anything if we don't want to. And that's honestly like a big time saver for me. I don't have to draw. Why does the dealing range high or low get cut on the previous candle? Well, because it's like a current candle that's open, right? And we establish the dealing range based on these candles. That's why. So it takes this one as the recent candle, and the next candle opens, it will adjust it towards this one. And then we can see how the next candle moves inside this one. Because what you sometimes see is that we get a reversal right here, right? And then you can see how we basically traded outside of the dealing range, took out the liquidity pool, and then we move up, for example. So that's why it does it like that. Someone told me to look at NG. Oh, wow, that's horrible. That's horrible. Yeah, okay. This is the actual king of breakouts. Imagine having 2 days up there and then we just open up down here. That's crazy. This is stuff you don't see often. It's kind of funny. Yeah, how do you even do like a proper technical analysis on this? Like, there's no way. Yeah, holy, yeah. How, where do we have to, what do we have to look at? Okay, there's a gap here. There's a big gap up here, right? So we could go back into that gap and like, especially this portion. Yeah, gaps have to be filled at one point, and then we have a major gap above it as well. So this is like a headache chart, honestly. But at the same time, we do have a lot of stacked lows just below us, so it could also just go for these first before moving up. Yeah, it's not looking pretty. Same goes for crude oil. I think crude oil is ugly as well. Yeah, crude oil doesn't look too well. Well, it has some more structure to it compared to the other one, honestly. You can immediately see that we're trading inside the order block right there, propulsion block, sorry, because we have an order block right there. It's being traded into, so we get a propulsion block, it reacts, we propel away. Another gap right here. Almost all markets gap down on the weekend with the new month opening. Gaps have to be filled at some point. Yeah, usually they do, but sometimes they get left open. I mean, if we look at NQ, for example, like a few years ago, there's still gaps that are open and never filled. Continuous chart for NG looks some Frankenstein's monster with back adjustment with different price between monthly contracts. Let me take a look. NG, and then you said continuous chart, right? This is the continuous chart, and then B adjustment. Oh. Oh, that's very different. Way different. Yeah, okay. Paints a different picture. Okay, that this really stands out, and the gap up here stands out. But then it's not like that crazy of a retrace. It's just because the new contract opened. But like we do have some crazy volatility on natural gas. Almost is in 22, 23. But then it kind of died down here compared to the previous year's volatility. Even though this is not bad though, this does look like a pretty clean market maker sell model developed, right? And this is like a very, very, very fast buy side development with like almost no chance to enter. Like we only traded back into this fair value gap right there before we basically opened up and went for the buy side immediately. I wonder what this looks like on a lower time frame though. Is it like tradable? Ooh, that's kind of ugly, honestly. Just looks like the letter H. You've heard of head and shoulders patterns, but have you heard of H patterns? That's crazy. Indeed, Frankenstein's monster, this chart. You're new to trading. How long have you been trading, or how long, or when did you start your journey? If you look at the monthly contract itself, not NG1. Okay. What's the ticker? Like NG H2026. You mean this one? And then on a daily. Oh. Your friend told you to watch the TGR bootcamp like December 30th. So it's like you're 1 month in. Okay, that's nice. That's good to hear though. You're like very new. That's good. Well, glad you found us in like the first month though. That's good. You made it to the right place. Someone told you to look into the forever model indicator and you came here. Yeah, forever model indicator is fire. It's a really nice framework. I like it. It's very mechanical and structured. That's what I like about it. On an eval. Oh, you're trading prop firms right now. That's nice. I think a lot of people they start out with props nowadays. Especially if you trade futures, and I guess you're trading futures, right? Yeah. Okay. What asset do you trade? Apex 100k. Ah, okay. Nice. So it's with the trading drawdown. Nasdaq. Okay. And how are you handling the trading drawdown? Personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't really like it, but it's fine. I can work with it, but it's interesting to see someone's yeah, trading down is definitely difficult. Yeah, it's the final boss for sure. It's like whenever your trade is in profit, it moves up the drawdown, even though your trade might not even be profitable. If it goes back to break even, the drawdown goes up. Yo, plug. Use code 2 for sure. Yeah, all Apex accounts have trading drawdowns, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, you have to wait for A plus setups. Yeah, but like the thing is with like what's it called, the trading drawdown, like break evens or losses are still part of the system, even if it's an A plus setup. And let's say you have an A plus setup that ticks all the boxes, but it moves up, let's say 1R or 2R in profit first before moving to your stop loss, right? It's still gonna eat up some drawdown and leave you with a loss as well, right? Which gonna, in my opinion, only makes people more stressed, or about handling the risk, because it's not really chill to work with risk like that, in my opinion, though. So that's why I like the normal static ones better, or the not live but like the end of day ones, for example. Yeah, that's like the good thing about it. It's not like a crazy investment for the account, so that's the positive. Yeah. Tradeify is cooking some crypto account. Oh, I didn't know that. What's up with that, with the crypto accounts? Because I do know a lot of people, they trade crypto. So that's a nice avenue they're moving towards. Those are coming soon. You saw the consistency rule. Prefer to deal with trading drawdown rather than a consistency rule. You saw an announcement. I hope it will be for swings. Oh, check out BTC. That's a good idea. Thank you, KM. We'll look at BTC immediately. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Oh, BTC is bleeding. It is bleeding. We're on a 1 day now. Ooh, it's bleeding bad. What did we do? We took out these lows. Ooh. What's it looking like on a weekly? Oh. That's a pretty nasty sell model, though. Pretty. Clean redistribution lower. Yeah, the select is like just the 40% on like the devaluation. So that's pretty doable. 40% is very doable. That's just so you don't like gamble past it. Gamble to pass it. 40K in next month. Wow. With the way it's looking right now, it's not looking too good. Where were we? Like 125, and we're all the way at 65 now. Damn, that's crazy. That broke down pretty quickly. Like heavy bearish order flow. Very strong. Take profit has a trading drawdown in the funded, which is annoying. Yeah, especially in the funded can be definitely annoying. Let's see. Just to get over the 2k buffer. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've seen a lot of good stuff from Tradeify lately, so that's good to see. Lucid has some really good accounts too. I'm not really familiar with them. What's up with their plans? Yeah, we're in talks with them. Hey yo, I didn't know that. Tradeify, is it Trump's also involved? Involved with what? With the end of day, does the max loss move down or only up? The only thing with select 50k is once funded, you only receive 50% profits, albeit payouts every 5 days. Every 5 days is nice though. It's quick to pay out. It's end of day drawdown. Like let's say you lost 500, and then you're 2,000 loss again. Or no firm has like the drawdown that moves up and down. Otherwise, it will go back down to like the starting point. Yeah, it would be a cheat code. Usually, when it goes up, it just stays up, and your drawdown decreases. Yeah, but the end of day is usually like I think that's the most convenient one because like if your trade hits break even or stop loss after moving in profit, you don't get affected by that. It's only by the actual closing of trades. Yeah, consistency does help cultivate discipline for sure. For sure, I agree with that. That's a nice statement. Even it's not even about the funded accounts, but like in life in general, consistency does help cultivate discipline. You like trading until you make a loss and then you stop. Well, losses are just part of the system. It's like a business expense at the end of the day. You're buying and selling stuff, and sometimes something costs money. You spend money to make money. What's up, Wolf? Long time no see. How are you? Good to see you're in here. Good to see you. Yeah, like let me touch upon that. Like trading until you make a loss and then you stop. That's good that you stop after a loss if that's like a rule. Um, but like losing is an art form in itself in a way. I mean, they're just part of a system, right? We execute a specific system over and over and over again, and then losses are just part of that. And it's all about how we stay consistent with executing it. That's the only thing that we can do. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? Oh, you already said you're good. You're just starting to become consistently profitable after 3 years of losing and day trading. You don't regret the money lost, but value the experience gained. You're a much trader today to do it. Yeah, that's indeed. It's all like college money, basically, right? Study money you pay to study at the end of the day. And then workouts are back to this. That's funny. Well, good to see you're back, man. How long was it ago? Like half a year, maybe? Maybe even more? 7, 8 months? I don't know how long it has been. It's been a long time. Yeah, well, welcome back. Yeah, let's get back to the topic of charts analysis. Indeed. So, let's look at the next asset. Which one? Ethereum. How's Ethereum doing? Now we're on the crypto prime. Same fate as Bitcoin at this moment. What else is there? XRP. We also have the futures. Same fate. Also dying. Can you have the chart color code? Yeah, of course you can. Oh. Oh, it's not letting me. Okay, this way it will work. So it's just this one. And then the other ones are all black. So it's really easy. And then the canvas is this one. Oh. There's a cool site for chart color codes. You got it? Perfect, perfect. Chart themes. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you for sharing that. So let's see any other markets that we could look at. We looked at NQ. We have looked at ES and YM. We've looked at the Forex markets. We've looked at a few metals, energy markets, crypto markets. Or maybe someone wants me to go over a certain market again. If they miss it, let me know. Maybe not everyone was in here at the start of the stream. Anyone trade wheat? Wheat futures. I don't trade wheat futures, but yeah, ZW. I know Josh had like a, I'm not sure if it was like a real trade or a paper trade running on corn. I think like Josh sniped the bottom on corn, which is pretty cool. You have to do your seasonal calendar. Can we do that together right now? You would help me out. What do you mean with seasonal calendar? As in when you when we should expect things to happen based on seasonal tendencies? We can look at that for sure. Let's let the seasonal tendency load up. Yeah, let's do that. let me pull up my watch list. There we go. We'll pull up 2026. Right. We'll we'll put in this, hide the warning. And we'll make the table bottom, center, and large so people can see it properly. Yeah, would be a good way to refer. Yeah, okay, so let's start with soybean futures first. What the hell is this seasonal? What am I looking at? That's kind of crazy. Might be something wrong with the data in there. They maybe changed like the way the contracts are handled. Might be a contract thing. Let me check the other soybean. Yeah, it's probably a contract thing. Oh, it could be a back adjustment, maybe. Yeah, okay, it was a back adjustment thing. I have a full commodity market right here on the side. So, soybean futures, what can we expect? Usually, a high is being set in February, a low is being set in January. Yeah, plus for 2026. So, right now, where are we at? You have to close this. I am not creating a document on another screen, no. Okay, let me pull up a doc on the side. There we go. Okay, so first market, ZS, which is soybean. Usually, we can expect highs to form around June, like a big drop off, as you can see. So, what do we note down? June, large drop. Right? And we'll remove the liquidity depth for now. This fits in there. We'll screenshot it. And then I'll add it to the document. All right. Oh, high of the year. Low of the year. Let's see. High of the year is going to be usually in June. And then we have, what is it, low of the year, usually in August or October. So August/October. Yeah, it's really helpful though. It is really helpful. And then we'll look at wheat futures, where we have the low of the year, usually happening around, what is it? It's a bit mixed, honestly. But if you look at the long-term seasonal, it's going to be the high in January, it says here, or a low. But usually a low is set in March, April, though, right here. You can see that all the seasonals kind of agree on a certain low right here. So I'm going to do March/April. And then a high of the year is going to be usually around June or November. It's gonna be November. And it's gonna be wheat. Yeah, understanding the yearly range, exactly. That's what we're looking at for now. And then corn futures. It's gonna be nice. This one's nice and specific. We have the high in June. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I removed this the months. Yeah, the high somewhere between April to June because there was like a consolidation in there. And the low of the year is usually set in March. No, it's not March, that's August. 5 times in a row, August and November. There we go. And then we have what is it? Coffee futures. Also pretty specific. A low in January. And what else do we have? The high is usually set in either February, it says here. But in the 5-year seasonals, it's going to be December. It's a pretty trending asset, so, and a lot of them also do agree on December, so I'm going to put in December. Nasdaq has seasonals too, yeah, for sure. For sure, Nasdaq has seasonals. I can quickly go to NQ. Nasdaq seasonals up only. Basically, though. Low in January and then up only. Yeah, basically, all assets have a future or have a seasonal chart, basically. So it's not just the plants. Let's see. Sugar. All right. So a clear high in February. Let's see. Sugar. High of the year in February or November. And low of the year is usually in April or December. Then we get cocoa futures, which is also pretty standard. High of the year. And the high of the year usually is when either April or September. So April or September usually. And the lows are usually set in either January or October. So right there. And then what's up next? Orange juice. OJ. OJ had a crazy run though. I think it died down, but it had a crazy run up. 400%. There we go. So lows are being set usually when it's a pretty mixed, honestly, but the high is at least set in June. So we're gonna, for OJ, high of the year, it's gonna be June. And low of the year, it's gonna be what? Usually March. Then we have live cattle. Yeah, and why we do this specifically for commodities and we're not really looking at metals or indices at this moment is because these commodities usually run on a specific yearly cycle in the way that like they're very repetitive, right? They're way more repetitive than NQ will ever be because they are influenced by real world supply and demand on stuff, right? Like corn grows at the same time each year, and it will get harvested at the same time each year. So supply and demand will always increase/decrease at around the same time of the year, which will always have the same effect. So that's why these seasonals are usually so specific and always have like these lows and highs that form in the same months. So live cattle, the low usually forms in January, and the high of the year usually forms or in April as well. April or January, my bad. And the high usually forms when? February or August. All right. Then we get to feeder cattle. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, wow. It's a bit different. So we have a high usually in August. So lows looks like it usually forms around March, right here, and otherwise another low in December. March and December for the lows, and the highs will usually form in August, right here. And then we have lean hogs futures with the high of the year, low of the year. There we go. Which is a crazy seasonal. So this really explains a lot, right? Cattle will get like will go to the slaughter at specific times of the year. So that's why you can see like increases and decreases in price so drastically, right? So on lean hogs, it's gonna be April, where we usually have like one of those big lows where we expand. So I'm gonna note down April for a low. And then when are the highs, it's gonna be August and October. And we're gonna also note down. Oh yeah, okay, that's the same one. Okay. And then I think we went through all the. Yeah, okay, maybe crude oil. Let's see if that one is very specific. Yeah, okay, it's just January that forms the low, or December and October highs. Yeah, it's very insightful for planning, especially if you just put it into your calendar notification at the beginning of the month to start looking for these setups. And then what else do we have? A high, usually around October or July. Okay, there we have the whole list. I'll make sure to post this list inside my analyst section. And if you do not have any alerts for that yet, you make sure to. Where can we do the alerts? Josh, do you have the channel for the alerts on hand by any chance? I forgot which. Yeah, I can link my analyst section immediately for sure. You can take a look at it right here. Let's see. You removed the alert section, Discord cleanup. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, okay. But yeah, just make sure to check out that channel. That's where you can find my stuff, the analysis and everything. All right, let's see. I think we covered all the what is it? Commodities. So I'll make sure to share this list inside the analyst section. I'll write a nice post for it first, and then I'll share it inside there. Yeah, and if anyone wants alert, I'm not sure. Do the alerts still work though? If someone has the role. Yeah, they still work. Okay, yeah. But no new alerts. Oh, okay, okay. Can I get the role? I think we can add that manually, maybe. There we go. Yeah, now you have the alerts, and then every time I will post something, you'll get a notification that there's a new post inside the channel. So that way you don't have to miss anything. So yeah, and the way you use this, it's not like an entry signal. It's just you wait around for the right time, of course, for when these markets usually start moving, and then you use the local or current market context that we're in order to understand where you are at in relation to this cycle and if it's a wise idea to enter a position or not. So that's how we can basically use this. Yeah, it's like a very good confluence and roadmap for the year. All right, let's see if we have some more questions in the chat or not. Let's see, yeah, I'm not sure if there's any more questions. Otherwise, we'll look to round up the stream soon. But it was definitely a good exercise to make sure to do the yeah, the yearly planning already. Thank you. Yeah, well, thank you for attending. We host these streams multiple times a week. Not only I, but also other analysts come in and host streams for free. So yeah, have a great evening, everyone. And then we'll see you soon by the next stream. And I hope everyone enjoys their day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are. Have a good one.